For more than 3 decades, Gino Auriemma and his UConn Huskies have set the standard for success at the college level. The records and accolades speak for themselves. More national championships than any other women's college program. Some of the greatest players in the history of the game. And 6 perfect seasons. Tonight, we hear from one of those teams, the national champions of 2002. From the personalities.
Everyone treated me great. I mean, everyone loved me. Everyone loved me.
Asia made her cry. You remember that?
Yeah, I'm saying we were mean. I was mean.
To the stories.
What did you notice that was different?
Swin had a cutout of her crying from that game in her locker.
And the long-lasting impact made by one very special group.
I've never had more fun in my life than before, during, and after.
This is UConn Undefeated. UConn Undefeated is presented by your Tri-State Cadillac dealers. Experience the ultimate in iconic luxury.
Welcome to UConn Undefeated. Tonight we have the 2002 39-0 undefeated national championship team. And with us, we have Swin Cash, Diana Taurasi, Asia Jones, Tamika Williams, and Sue Burke. And there you have the starting 5 from that group. Thanks for doing this. I really appreciate it. And I know SNY appreciates it. And I know the fans appreciate it because I'm sure there hasn't been a lot of time since when the 5 of you have all been together in one place at one time to kind of talk about some of the things that happened. And the first thing that I would ask is, and this doesn't include Dee yet, but do you guys remember, the 4 of you, do you remember your freshman year when you showed up and all the hoopla and all the hubbub about what a great recruiting class, and it was the greatest thing ever, the greatest recruiting class in the history of college basketball and all that? Do you remember all that happening while you guys were coming to school? Tamika?
Yes, Coach, we remember it. It was crazy. The Fem 5.
Task Force.
The task force.
Who gave you guys those stupid names?
Probably.
You know who it was.
It wasn't me.
It was Swin.
Swin did
Swin,
it.
you did that?
Task Force.
So
The
great.
task force I thought was a good name because we were trying. Keep in mind, at the time we were trying to figure out something besides the Fab 5 that was at Michigan, and so I was like, all right, I got to keep thinking. And then it was like, all right, we'll go for the task force. It didn't really stick though, but the freshman year sounded hot to me.
It was you that did it? I never knew that. And Sue, and Asia, you didn't like say, no, I don't want any part of this.
You know I didn't say anything.
What were we going to say?
I didn't talk that year.
So none of you guys went over to her and said, yo, this is the dumbest idea I've ever heard.
No.
Took me 3 years to get comfortable to do that with Swin.
Wow. 3 years. After about a month of practice, your freshman year,
We wanted to transfer.
That's fine because I wanted to quit. So it would have been good.
I'm having a...
We would have both left. That was fine. That would have been good with me. The way that season ended, the way that that year ended was just was kind of tragic in the sense from a basketball standpoint, because the way it started, we looked like we would win every game and score 130 points every game the way that season started. And then it just kind of all kind of fell apart, when Sue got hurt. And the worst possible scenario that could happen, Shea and Sveta were our 2 guards, and they wouldn't even pass you the ketchup at dinner, much less pass you the ball. So that was a bad way to for that season to go with those 2 guys playing guard. But then after that, we You guys win a national championship in 2000. And then D shows up and put some background into this. When D showed up as a freshman,
There's background.
did it remind you of you guys when you guys were coming in all cocky and full of yourself, and now here she comes in? D, how'd they treat you?
We were good to D.
No, they treated everyone treated me great. I mean, everyone loved me. Everyone loved me. I mean, you called it cocky. I was just having fun. I didn't know what. I mean, I don't think I disrespected anyone for them to not treat me well. For the most part, I guess.
Did you guys try to put her in her place? Don't say no, Swin. You liar.
You know what? It was like, I was okay. Like, her attitude, like her confidence, cockiness on the court, like that's just like, I felt like we got used to, like, that's how she played. That's how she was. Like, she didn't drive, like, being competitive. And I mean, at the same time, D would be crazy on the court, say whatever. And then as soon as you go off, be like, hey, you want to go over here? You need a sandwich? You need this? Like, she was like one of those teammates where it's like, I don't know if I want to strangle her on the court. I want to hug her. We get off the court. Well, like, what you did one time.
Hey.
I wasn't saying.
One time.
But why in God's name would you want? Why in God's
It all
name would
started
you want?
with a Maria Figueroa layup.
Wait. Explain that one. Explain that one to me. Maria Figueroa. Sue, what was it?
So what had happened was, we were playing pickup, and Maria had a way of shooting her layups. It looked like she had the ball on a tray, especially that finger roll. It was really the finger roll layup. It looked like this ball.
It was like a palm roll. It wasn't even.
Yeah, I don't even know. You have to go check the videotape on that one. So there was this one day of pickup where D was teasing her for it. It was like getting on her, teasing for it. Swin actually was defending Maria. And then truth be told, somehow, some way, those two, Swin and D, ended up in the locker room, alone. I don't even know who else was in there. I think you guys were alone.
No, I think I was reading, doing homework.
You are doing. I left.
So the rest is
I was in the reading.
The legend says.
No, remember, I left first, and as I was leaving, I was like, I'm not dealing with this no more. I'm going to the locker room. And then D yells as I'm leaving off the court, go ahead and watch your freaking stories then. Go in there. Like, y'all know I was watching General Hospital. I was like, okay.
That happened.
It's definitely funny to look back at it, because D was one of those people where she definitely knew where it was going to sting. And when she's at the General Hospital, I was already gone, but she hit me with the General Hospital.
When she said General Hospital, that's where I draw the line.
One thing I remember about that year specifically, the very first game, I think it was our season opener. We played at the XL Center, as in Civic Center.
Georgia.
We played Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to say we were beating them really, really bad. It was a 30-point game at halftime. Do you guys know what I thought after that game? I thought we are in big, big trouble, because this can't possibly go like this the whole season. They were like third in the country. I don't even think we were preseason number one, were we? I don't even think we were.
Yeah, because you want to know why we were preseason number one? We had to be, because you promised the state of Connecticut a championship after we won in 2000. You're like, this is great. Wait till next year. We'll be right back here. So talking about peaking too soon.
And we should have. You guys screwed it all up. That to me was like, I don't think this team can possibly get any better, any way, shape, or form. We can't get any better than we just played tonight. That was like a national championship game. And then little by little, I never asked you guys this, but what, between the beginning of that season and our loss to Notre Dame in St. Louis, what kind of things did you guys see or notice that made you think or made you go, this maybe isn't going as smoothly as we thought? Swin, you're laughing. Something's up. Tell me.
I was waiting for Stu to.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think we had some chemistry issues.
some chemistry issues. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, from our point of view as freshmen, because it was, we had the other Fab Five. I can't name them, but we had some other people. And as the season went on, you just I think you just saw these little fractures in it. You started seeing these little groups, and there was so many of us. I think it was like 17 of us on the. There was so many of us.
Yeah.
There was so many people to make sure everyone was okay.
Yeah.
That they were playing, at a high level. Some people weren't playing at all. So I think some people got lost in the shuffle. Other people wanted more, wanted less. It just, like you said, after that game, everything kind of went downhill after that with injuries and, just chemistry-wise.
What went through your minds when Speta got hurt down at Tennessee?
I mean, we've always, every year somebody got hurt. So for us, it's like, all right, next man up. Seriously, so many injuries from our best players through our whole career there.
Yeah.
So it literally is like, all right, come on, D. And I remember at one point we were begging her, like, look, we need you. You got to shoot more. Don't, you're not a freshman. Don't worry about that. Just play like you know how to play. Like, I remember begging her and just like, look, just be free. Don't worry about anything else.
I feel like we had enough. Like, that's the one thing
Right.
about the season I remember. Like, I felt like,
Yeah.
to Asia's point, like, even when somebody went down, it was like, all right, next person up. Like, we just felt like that was the deepest team to me.
Yes.
I think to Dee's point, because throughout the season, there were like these kind of, group over here, group over there. The chemistry wasn't allowed to blend.
I think it was also a buildup before D got there, our freshman year, with some of the leadership. We had a click, people got hurt, but we had some separation. But I think our class really learned from that. So when D got there her freshman year, and we were juniors, we vowed to not treat her that way because we knew we needed her. So when Svet went down, I think all of us had a lot of confidence that she was going to step into place. But how we played it and how we presented it to her would weigh on how she performed. So if she knew we believed in her, I think that she bought into it a lot more because we were there. We were definitely talking to her like, we need you. We knew we needed Diana Taurasi to win a national championship. And we weren't afraid to put that out there.
I just remember feeling really sad for Svet. I can't remember if she had to have surgery. I think she did, right? And I just remember being like, man, that sucks to finish your career like that.
Yep.
They said, the doctor said it was like a 1 in 500,000 that particular tendon could tear, and then senior night, her parents came from Russia and she didn't even get a chance to play, So yeah, it was really sad to go through it. But then when Shea got hurt in the Big East tournament, now what the hell are you thinking?
I mean, I was thinking spring weekend is around the corner. We got a good chance at that.
For me, it almost was, okay, there's this expectation that now we can't do this, maybe at the outside world, but I actually think in a perverted kind of way, this is going to bring these guys a little closer because now they know there's no margin for error, zero. And we're adding somebody who can actually do pretty much all the things that those other two guys would have been able to give us anyway. So if we didn't have D coming off the bench at that point, I in my mind, I would have thought it's over. Like we're going to have to get really lucky, blah, blah. But because we were bringing in somebody that I thought, this one person we have is like a combination of both of these guys. So we're good to go. And
another thing, we really didn't have a lot of time to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I mean, we're going right into the tournament. So it wasn't like it gave us a couple weeks to figure it out, which might have been actually better. Because you knew you were just going to go straight into more games and you had to win them. That's it. So there wasn't that time to figure it out. You'd have messed it up somehow or, so it was good.
And when we were the number 4, number 1 seed. We got put on the same side, obviously, as Notre Dame, who we had just beat without Svet and Shea. But they still put us as the number 4, number 1.
Because,
was
I think Shea getting hurt knocked us down a little bit.
I know, but number 4?
I know. Well, there was a lot of anti-Connecticut sentiment back then. So when we lost in the Final Four in St. Louis, What was the aftermath of that like?
Shea Ralph, who blew out a knee late in the year, and Svetlana Brosimova, her teammate, who was injured earlier in the season. Seniors who can only sit and watch right now as their careers come to an end at UConn.
You hugged D and you looked at us like, where the f- were you?
Yeah.
Did I not curse on this?
I didn't say that.
Oh,
I didn't say that.
no, coach.
She fell down and she was crying and she was a freshman. I was just trying to comfort
I
her.
wasn't crying.
D and you looked at us like,
She was crying. It was the bench.
I
She
wasn't
was
crying. I was sweating.
So if we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this.
All right.
I'm sweating.
When he came in that locker room, he was comforting D, but he looked at 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's right.
You guys' fault.
Yep.
I will never forget it because I talked about it the whole next beginning of the year. And I literally was like, he ain't got to say nothing this whole year. Just don't say nothing. This is the first time in my life I wanted to punch a coach in the face. That moment. He was like, we wanted to cry too. Like, we all hurting. He was like, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's you guys' fault.
Hey, it worked. It worked. Now we come back. Practice starts in September for the 2002 team. And I think I might have talked to some of you guys about it. What was different about that preseason, September, October, than the preseasons before that? What did you notice that was different?
Swin had a cutout of her crying from that game in her locker.
Which locker, Sue? Which one?
Oh,
One on the left, or one on the right?
Oh, God.
She had to.
Yeah, by the way, how many players have we ever had that had 3 lockers in the locker room other than Swin? Just one, right? She's the only one?
Two.
My locker.
One for her shoes and her jewelry and the other for all her basketball stuff. So what was different about that preseason? Tell me. Tamika, what was different about that preseason?
I just feel like we were like we knew. I remember talking to you, coming in there, sitting on the red couch, and I was like, so what are we going to do after we win this? I just felt like we had everything together. Like we knew exactly what it was going to take to win at that point. But I don't know if there was, that was the only difference, and we were the leaders. You know, when Svet and Shea went down, there was a part, especially when Svet went down, people forget how good Svetlana is. She a 3-time All-American. Like, Svet was freaking good. And then Shea was our toughness, right? So you lose those two components, yeah, you do take a little bit of a hit, but I think we thought we were good enough to figure it out. You lose to Notre Dame, and you come back the next year, and I feel like we had Dee had a season under her belt, and now we have to be the leaders that we need to be. Everybody was healthy. So I just think we kind of knew what it took at that point.
We had more ownership of it. I think the year before it was like Svet and Shea will do it.
Yep.
And then now this was ours. So we all had more ownership of it.
Yep.
And then of course, like the loss was off, very fresh, and the taste was in our mouth. So that was a motivator for sure.
Do you guys remember any of the early games your senior year? Anyone that stand out?
We played Vanderbilt. I remember Asia guarded the out of Chantilly.
Ooh, and she
Yeah.
double foul.
See.
Yo,
Always bringing up old stuff.
we held them to like 40 points or something for the game. That was bad.
Asia made her cry. You remember that?
Listen, we were mean and nasty that year. Like
Thanks,
it was just
JJ.
like, yeah, I'm saying we were mean. I was mean.
I remember we played this 1-1-3 zone, and we rotated.
Slide.
Yeah, long slide, short slide. We rotated you 3 guys along the baseline there, bum, 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 and you 2 guys up top. And I remember it was really, really hard for post players to get any kind of stuff. These two guys were like this, and then back to go, and then back to go. You guys are going like this, bump, 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 bump. And at the end of the game,
Can't
I
have it
remember
all.
those guys
You can't
going,
have it all,
man, we played hard on
Can't have it all.
defense tonight. What a crack. It was
Can't have it
awful.
all.
Yeah.
Coach, let me ask you a question though. That was literally like, I felt because we were almost undersized to an extent, like, were you just out there creating stuff because you were like, oh, they're athletic, we can just make moves and do this? Because that was the first time I had experienced the 1-3-1 like that. And I remember we were doing like different stuff and experimenting with stuff, but we could do it because we're athletic and getting after it. So I felt like that was the first time.
A lot of times when you have a team, you're stuck with, you got a guy in the middle that can't move, and then you're trying to figure out how do we keep this guy in the lane and not let him get caught, get exposed. So with you three guys, I remember one day I came in the office and I said, hey guys, like, what difference does it make where we put these guys? How about we just have them, interchange it? Like, so what? If Tamika's in the middle or Swin's in the middle or Asia's in the middle, who cares? The only two guys that don't want to run around are two guards. So let's make the other guys run around. And so that's kind of how it evolved, like that kind of stuff.
Sounds good.
Let's make the guys that want to work, and let's make the two guys that just want to go stand there and do that. Who did we play in the finals at a Big East tournament? I don't even remember. Who was it? Do you remember? I don't even remember.
Asia was killing, though. I remember that.
Yeah, Asia was killing. I know we played Boston College.
We definitely played Boston College.
Rutgers?
I don't remember.
You know, I remember the close games in practice. We never remember the stuff other people remember. Like, remember we beat that team by 70? No, we don't. Because that's how we were trained.
That's so bad. That's so sad. That was a miserable experience for you guys. Be it UConn. I can't believe you stayed all 4 years. Thank God it wasn't men's basketball. You guys have been even going after 1 year. I tell people this all the time. Some people say, yeah, 11 national championships. I said, well, it's women's basketball. I said, these guys ain't going anywhere. Like, where are they going to go? I said, if it was men's basketball, I said, you want me to name all the guys that would have been like one and done or two and done? I said, they would never been around for as many championships, So you guys got to.
You're welcome.
What are you talking about? What do you think? You were our first good? You wouldn't think you're the first good player ever come to damn Connecticut? So the interesting thing is, if it was men's basketball, or if the rules in the WNBA were the same as they are in the NBA, you guys would have never made it to your senior year altogether. That's the weird thing about it. Otherwise, after your freshman year, or certainly after your sophomore year, after we won that national championship, you guys would have been all scattered in all different directions. So when we were getting ready to go to the NCAA tournament, I do remember the NCAA tournament. I do remember going to the regionals were in Marquette.
Milwaukee,
yeah.
Yeah, the regionals were at Marquette in Milwaukee, and we played
Penn State.
I want to say Penn State and Old Dominion, right?
Yeah.
I don't know who was first, though. Penn State or Old Dominion? Who was first?
Penn State.
Penn State first, and then Old Dominion.
We didn't miss a shot in the first quarter.
Yeah, it said it was Smash City.
It seemed like it was just a snowball kind of thing, and it started as soon as the NCAA tournament started, and it just kept. And was it like destined? Like, we're just going to roll through everybody. There was never any doubt in anybody's mind. What if? Was there any pressure? Like, we can't let it happen. What happened last year? Did any of that ever enter into your mind?
No, I think you were just so. I mean, I think we can't remember anything because we were just so in the moment. Honestly, like it was like we're going to show up to this game, we're going to bust some. We're going to go back to campus wherever we're going, and we're going to do it again, and we're going to do it again. Like that's how I remember that year. I don't think we had a worry in the world. Like we knew what we had to get done. It's like we messed it up, so we knew how to pick it up. So now we know how to do it right.
Yeah, and I think like you find out later, like in life, I guess, the more prepared you are, it's just easy to go out there and play. And we were beyond that. It was the culmination of 3 years of preparation, going through all the highs, all the lows, where this was just like, we were just ready for everything. It didn't matter. So we just steamrolled.
Where the year before, it was like all that baggage finally caught up to us, whether it was individually or, as a team. Because we were up in that game, right?
Yeah.
We were up 15 against Notre Dame, and then something happened at halftime, and but that's when you know you're not a good team, when you come out of halftime and you can't sustain that energy and the way you're playing. That's when you know there's some cracks in the foundation. And we knew this year there was no cracks.
I think the one thing that we did better than anybody else back then, and not saying that they're not still doing it now, is our practices were so much harder than the games. Like, I literally just was having fun in the games, but practices were so hard for us. Like, that's what we talked about the most. It was like, all right, how are we getting better? What are we going to do today? Like, we did this in practice. JJ did this. CD did this. Oh, coach is pushing us here. Like, everything was like a mental challenge every day. Like, you were getting punched or you were punching back. So when the games came, it was like, all right, we about to take it out on them, period.
So I remember, Coach, you said the only way someone can beat us is by pressing us. So in practice, we'd press break for like hours at a time. And we're just like, ugh. And that's all we would do is press breaker the whole practice.
But
and no one pressed us the whole year. So we were just like, boy, practice is dumb. no one pressed us the whole year, right, Sue? We just bring it up.
No. We were waiting for it.
Bring it up.
Yeah, because it was like the guards were just me, D, Maria. That was really, like, when you think about it, those were our ball handlers. That was it. That's all we had. So we were like, oh, they're going to try to, tire us out, press us, get the ball in our hands, all this stuff.
I was flabbergasted that it never happened. I thought for
Never
sure
happened.
Some teams are just going to go, that's it. Those guys pass the ball so well. They move so well without the ball. It's like a finely tuned orchestra, the way those guys move. We're going to just get into their stuff and disrupt everything. And nobody did. I was praying for it. Like, before every game, I would go, I hope they press. Like, I hope they press. And it never happened.
So they need to come back to practice and be like, let's do press breaker again?
I said, it didn't happen. I know it's going to happen next game. I know it's going to happen next game.
The blue team out here, and let me get 8 white guys.
No, nice. Add another one.
Yeah.
They're
We're
getting
like 5 on 10.
We were like, come on, Coach.
5 on 10? That's a little bit of an exaggeration.
Yes. No, Coach.
I wouldn't be surprised.
The most I've ever had out there against you guys, and you're the only team I've ever done this against, the most I ever had was 8.
Oh, that's so far from 10.
It's way far from 10.
No, if you would have JJ or Tanya standing on another side, they can pass the ball to. So it's like 10. It's like, oh, they're outlets. You still can use them.
It was 8. You got to coach like you're a pro coach. We got this, man. Don't worry about it.
Or no, how about just shut up? I got this.
Oh, what? Who coaches like that?
Go over there.
So that's what we say now. That's what we say.
That's what we say now. Just go over there.
I know.
That's terrible.
You guys, the worst guys to coach ever. The worst guys.
Give me your rings back. Give me your medals and your rings back. I'll take.
What are you talking about? I didn't say I wouldn't do it again. I just said it was. Yo, Tamika.
He didn't get a medal. He'll
coaching these guys.
Oh no, he has medals.
Worse than coaching.
He has medals.
They the worst.
I
know
the worst.
Made him a medal.
The
They
worst.
made him 2 medals. You're the only
The
coach.
worst. I don't even know. I don't even know where those medals are. I don't even know where they are.
I know where they are.
headaches that I
Hanging in
got.
your office. It's got sections. It's in the Olympic section.
Oh my God. So now the Final Four, and after the Tennessee game, that was way easier than it was supposed to be, huh? Didn't you think?
Yeah.
The Tennessee games aren't supposed to be that easy. That one was pretty easy. I remember, let me tell you what I remember after the Tennessee game in San Antonio. I remember Swin was terrible, horrendous. I left her in the game all the way to the end because I thought, I hope she does something good so to carry over to the next game. And I remember thinking to myself, all right, we got 1 game left, 39-0. We win the national championship. We got one, like, there's nothing that could possibly happen that could derail us here. That was the last, I think, that was the last game. So that's how many years ago? 18 years ago? That's the last game that UConn women's basketball has ever played where we did not make a 3. Not one.
You gotta find other ways to win sometimes, Coach.
No, I know. So we're up 14 or 15, and we haven't made one outside shot. We haven't made 1 3, blah, 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 blah. And then the game gets close. Was there ever any time when you guys are like, uh-oh?
So this is what I was going to say before. I think what we learned in that Notre Dame game, because what happened at halftime or coming out of halftime was they made a run at us. And obviously we know how it ended.
Yes.
We couldn't overcome. So like in that Oklahoma game, I personally don't remember ever feeling that way. And it was kind of like, all right, we've been here. Like, we're good. Yeah. Like, do you like it when teams make runs at you in championship games? No. But like, we were fine. There was no panic. And then you drew up a play for D and we were like, okay, this is good.
One of the things I actually remember was from the defensive end. Like, I remember them making a run, but we had turned the ball over some. And poor Maria.
We had turned the ball over some. We. There's only one person that turned the ball over a lot. It wasn't we. It was D, not we. It was D. I remember D throwing the ball away like 3 times in a row. So we go up from up 15 or 13 to like up 6, let's just say, or 7. I forget what it was. And there's a timeout. And you guys all come running over. And you come over and you sit down. And I never forget this as long as I live. I remember saying, she don't care whether we win or lose. She's coming back next year. You guys ain't coming back. You know what? She don't care. So you know what?
How the
You guys are
tables
gonna have to
turn.
win. And I remember saying, she don't care. And I'm trying to get you guys, the 4 of you, to go, let's go. And let's go take care of this and get it over with. Well, now we go back out there. And 1 play later, they score. And now there's a timeout or dead ball or something. You guys come over. And I'm like, all right, we need a bucket right now. And we need to really get like the score, blah, blah, blah. So we draw up a play for D. And you guys are like, yeah, all right, we got this. Right after I just said, she don't care about you guys.
Bird looks inside. Taurasi forced it, got it back and scored. 39-0. Connecticut is perfect.
So after we win the game, what was the feeling like? Your career's over. You 4 guys, it's done. That's it. No more Connecticut basketball. You won a national championship. What immediately went through your mind when the buzzer went off?
I remember us going back to campus and us 4, like, we're going to go to the bar. And we literally like had 1 drink and we were like sad because it was over. Do y'all remember doing that? Like we went to, I can't remember where we went to, but we went somewhere and we were just sitting there. Like we thought we were going to be like, yeah, let's get, and we were not like that. We were upset because it was like, man, we won't practice. Wherever we go, we won't be on the same team. Like it was just a different vibe. We just knew it was over at that point. And it was almost sad. We left a unit there that we just kicked their butt every day. So they played well in the Oklahoma game. You know, they played well in games when we did drop the ball or when things didn't happen. So just to know that you had an impact on those type of players that didn't have the names coming in or didn't have whatever, and that they won 2 more national championships after we left. I think there were some things that were futuristic. I think positionless basketball was futuristic. And I remember Carol Lawson watching the Golden State Warriors, and she was commentating for ESPN. And they were like, positionless basketball, and, oh, this is so new to the game. And she said, actually, the first time I saw positionless basketball was when I had to play against our team, the Connecticut basketball team, in whatever year she named it. She was like, that was the first time I had ever seen somebody pull that off. We went small ball 39-0. The biggest thing I think that was futuristic to leave that type of team, even though they had D, and they win 2 more national championships. They did what we couldn't do. So I just think that was the biggest thing about leaving legacy and having an impact on the younger players in the right way.
You know, a lot's happened in the last 18 years. You know, you guys have been all over the world, and you're in different stages of your life, and you've gotten to experience so much basketball and beyond basketball. And your world used to be, from North Eagleville Road to South Eagleville Road, and from, the back of campus to the front of campus. And now your world is actually the world. And it's pretty amazing the path that you guys have taken, and you've all taken in your own way an opportunity to say your piece and to have your voice heard. And I think that's as much of a legacy as what you actually did on the court. Maybe even more so, because, like you just did, you just proved you forget a lot about what happened on the court. But a lot of stuff that you guys have done since, that maybe is unforgettable. Do you often think about what your life outside of basketball has been like? Swin, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I feel like from a personal standpoint, I was able to be in college with all of them, and I feel like we learned a lot. We had solid foundations. A lot we learned about just kind of the game of basketball and what it meant to us on the court, and the things we valued off the court. And fast forward 18 years later, I feel like I still draw on those experiences at times to either learn from or grow from, and to help direct me in a way, whether it's dealing with issues in the social justice space, whether it's being an advocate for women, whether it's trying to fight to make sure that, we have equality in our country or world, whether it's, being out there and caring about young kids. I feel like those are the important things that you talk about leaving with legacy. And I feel like my sisters here on the call, like we've all impacted in some way, shape, or form. But we've used basketball's platform in order to do that in a lot of different ways.
D, how much in your life now is basketball, and how much of it is the other stuff that basketball has allowed you to be able to do?
It's still a big part of my life is basketball. I've been able to do a lot of pretty neat things, obviously having a family, a son, but basketball's still front and center to me. So in a lot of ways, like where I am right now, I've been here for a long time. And then, the off the court stuff has evolved a little bit, but, I'll lead from the back and just keep playing.
She says that, but like her voice has so much weight. She doesn't have to say much, but when she does say it, it's more than like if one person said 1,000 words, So.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe the loudest person that we have, Asia. Whenever I ask Asia a question, it's like talking to Morgan Freeman or something,
Come on.
Like she's not going to say a lot of words, but what she says, you're going to go, damn, Where's your life right now, and how do you feel like you're impacting what's going on?
Well, my world has changed from being a player to being a coach. And as a player, I played year-round, WNBA. I played overseas. And now as a coach, I'm just doing the W. So I'm only working on at that job in the summers. So it gives me a whole bunch of other time to actually see my family, enjoy life outside of basketball. I took 3 years away from the game, and I realized I belong in the game. Going through UConn, like the biggest lesson I've learned through my whole life is learn how to prepare and what hard work is. And that has completely sustained me and gotten me to the level I am now.
What's amazing to me is, tell me anything any of you guys has accomplished in your life, in college, that would make you come here not ready to go.
A lot of what I see, a lot of these young kids coming out of high school and coming to college, they want all the stuff that you guys have, but this understanding of how to prepare to get that stuff, that's not quite there as much. You see that, Tamika?
Absolutely, Coach. They don't want to prepare and they think it's easy. That's probably the hardest part, is they think it comes easy. They still watch Sue. It's funny hearing them talk about her. And, you know, they think, oh man, I can do that. And they really believe it, but they have no idea what comes with, trust me, what comes with that. And I don't know, it's just, it's different being here and having to teach them everything. And I get them for 4 years, you know, coaches in the W coach, we get them for 4 years. And to see them grow up is pretty cool, but how they come in and what they think, and just if I could bring all you guys to a college practice, you probably walk back out.
They would be stunned.
Man, I mean, and the kid, like, you can't go to Connecticut practice. You got to go everybody else but Connecticut practice. And
they would be stunned. They would be
it's
stunned.
Just different. But, you know, you have an impact, and you know that you have to make an impression. You have to help them become better on the floor and off the court. I think we were a little bit more mature. We had goals. We had things we wanted to get accomplished. And it's a little bit different in coaching now.
For you, Sue, after all these years and after all that's happened, this past season had to be surreal in so many ways.
It was a wild summer just because of, you know, what was going on in our country, simultaneously having to live in a bubble. It was just the most unique experience I think all of us who were there have had. So to come out and win, just from like a basketball standpoint, and for me where I'm in my career, like, first of all, I'm very lucky. I'm lucky that my team got young again. And so now I can kind of, you know, latch on this like point guard, just finding, you know, always needing players to kind of latch on to make it work, right? Like, obviously my wheelhouse is when I'm on a team kind of making that click, but you need the right people. And so I'm lucky that our team got young. And what I find is I just don't want to miss those moments to capitalize on it, because it doesn't last forever. Crazy, I don't even know. It's hard to put into words.
The memories that we made together from the first time I started recruiting you guys, no matter what stuff I threw out there that was bizarre to try to get you guys mad or angry or pissed or motivated or just whatever it was, I've never had more fun in my life than during, the before, during, and after. And tonight was just another one of those memorable nights, and I appreciate you guys all doing this, and I hope we get a chance to do it again at some point soon when we can all get together.
Is our 2002 bottle in the mail, or?
I actually have only one more of these, but I have a couple other 2002 bottles, but they'll have to be in person, so you'll have to like find your way up here when the smoke clears.
I was just gonna say.
I'm ready.
All right.